Good evening, folks. Good day, good whatever you find yourself in the world. Um, it is fantastic to be hanging out with you. For me, it's night. Uh, Tonight, you notice again, it is just me, flying solo. The lovely Jess CCG is not feeling too great today, so we get to do episode number 2 of Something's Puzzling Gus. And tonight we are going to be doing a very fun roll and write. Let's see if I can. Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. This is a cool little roll and write from the Valeria world, which is made by Daily Magic Games and designed by Levi Moat, which is one of the local designers here in the Pacific Northwest. Tangipu, subscribing. Thank you so much. 25 months. That is amazing. You are fantastic. Hope you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is probably pretty darn close to wrapped up. But yeah, thank you for the subscription and the support for so long. That's so cool. Jess was telling me that you are probably going to be at PAX U, or maybe definitely going to be at PAX U, and Jess is not working it this time, so she and I get to just roam the halls and look for friends to play games with, and so looking forward to getting to do that. And so hopefully that will involve getting to sit down at a table with you and playing a game. Yes, I sure am. Let's do it. Let's play something. I'm stoked. It's gonna be so much fun. So I'm really excited that Jess is able to take this one off. And so she does have to work with Rose Gauntlet Foundation. She is gonna be helping put together the big gay dinner. But that is just one evening, and then the rest of the time I get her, and we all get her. So it's gonna be very, very cool. So hope everybody's week is going well. The week has been going pretty good around here. It's been pretty chill, and I will take that every time. So yeah, we're closing up summer here. It's starting to feel a little bit less summery, which is nice. Summer's not my favorite. It's not as hot as it has been, and so we're starting to get that. The mornings are a little crisp, and I'm like, yes, is my fall coming? So yeah, hope your summer has been good, and in honor of it, the summer wrapping up, I am tonight drinking a darker beer. It is called the Brood Abides, and it is a White Russian inspired milk stout tonight. Um, this is a little throw, or a, what's the right words? I'm not an amazing wordsmith, but is a little call out to the Big Lebowski, the dude abides. He always drank White Russians, and so I felt, tonight it's getting a little bit cloudy. It's we're getting closer to fall, so I'm going with something a little darker tonight. And my buddy Tangi likes the fall as well. It is my favorite of the four. Fall is number one. I want to wear hoodies and jeans. I want to have spicy, like, pumpkin spice stuff. I want not hot spicy, but I want to have nice spicy flavored things and smells. I want the colors on the trees, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So Angie and I can look forward to it together. Yes, soften your razors, sweater weather, sweater weather. It's the best. And hello, Soften Your Razor. Thanks for coming in and hanging out tonight. We're going to have some fun. We're going to play some Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. If anybody happens to own this game, I think they could play along, because I'm going to play the solo mode. And that could work for anybody who had sheets. I I am nowhere near as good as Jess in finding where these kind of sheets live on the internet. So there might be places where they exist and you can go print them out. But that's what Jess is better at. I'm lucky you all can see me and hear me. So I'm counting a success for tonight. Yes, I want to live in hoodies, please and thank you. Yeah, like how can we chase there was that movie man, was it like the 60s or whatever called Endless Summer? The surfing folks who like chase summer around the world so they can keep surfing all year. It's like I want to endless fall. How can I chase fall all year around the world so that I can stay in a hoodie? Because that is the life. They're just so comfy. There's just something about like being enclosed. Like I don't have a sweatshirt that doesn't have a hood on it. Um, there are people that look really great in those, and I don't understand how and how they're comfortable doing that. I need to have that hood. I like being cocooned, so hoodies just kind of do that for me. So I will need to be picking up some new fresh ones for the fall. We're coming up on it. I do have a really cool CCG hoodie that I'm stoked about. Black, zip up, very nice. So I will probably be rocking that around PAX U. Come see it. Buy one for yourself if you want. They are available somewhere on the internet. Again, I'm not very good at this stuff, but Jess is, so hit her up. But again, yes, our lovely Jess CCG is not feeling too great tonight, so send her all the good vibes and well wishes, and we hope that she feels good quickly. So you got me. It's just me tonight. And we're going to play some games. So I'm going to drop down on the table. We are going to, yes, feel better, Jess. Thank you. Thanks, Angie. I appreciate the support. This is my, like when Jess is here with me, it's so easy. Like, A, she's so good at this. I don't know. She's trained, right? Like she did radio. She went through college radio, and then when we got here to Portland, she actually was working at a radio station here in town and had her own show. So she can just do this. Like she's so good at being able to just vibe and go and share things. So when I'm here with her, I get to just work with her, and it's great. It's easy. This is harder, but I really appreciate Razor and Tangy giving me some things back. That's very helpful. So let's drop down to the table. Let's play some games. The Valeria world is a pretty big series of games. I think there's quite a few that Daily Magic has created in the Valeria world. I love rolling dice. So when you tell me there's a roll and write in the Valeria world, I'm all about it. So that is what we're going to be playing tonight. We're going to be doing the solo mode, which I have not done. So that'll be a first for me tonight to teach and show and play. And hopefully there will be no rules goofs, but if there is, whatevs. So in Valeria, Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, we are trying to build out our kingdoms. We are trying to construct roads to connect all of these various, what do they call them? Should I get my word? Domains. So we have all of our different domains that we're trying to build roads down to. We are trying to build up the wall around our kingdom. And within the kingdom, there are various guilds that we are trying to strengthen and then utilize their abilities to do good things. We got monsters we got to fight to keep our kingdom safe, and we've got citizen tracks. So we're trying to attract lots and lots of citizens. Notice that the citizens are yellow, so apparently Valeria is in the world of The Simpsons. So that's my mind canon of what's happening here. It is the Kingdom of Springfield. That's what we're going to name our castle here tonight. We are going to grow Springfield for the mighty, mighty citizens, the yellow citizens. How this is going to play in the more than solo player mode, we would keep rolling dice, taking turns with the dice. until 3 of these guild tracks got filled up. In solo mode, we will get exactly 20 turns. And what's cool is they put a little flourish on the sheets that for non-solo players is totally just decorative. But for solo mode, there are exactly 20 trees that line this boulevard on this main sheet, and you cross one out for each turn because that's how many turns you get. I was like, that's such a cool little touch. So we have 20 turns to try to build up our best kingdom, and there is a score that we're trying to set and see how good of a kingdom builder we are. On each of those 20 turns, we're going to roll all 6 of these dice. There are 2 black dice that have the numbers 1 through 6 showing on them. And then there are 4 colored dice, red, yellow, green, and blue, that each represent a different type of ability or track that we can start to move down. And those 2 kinds of dice are going to do different things. We're going to have 2 phases to each turn. The starting phase is going to be with those black numbered dice. With those, we are going to do something that is kind of Machikoro-esque or Bad Company. If you play that one, you get to do heist. But basically, whatever numbers are rolled on here, up on these citizen tracks, we're going to look at where we have citizens of those numbers, and we're going to get to start carrying out some, they call it the harvest phase. It's a weird name for it, but basically we're going to get to utilize our citizens to start building out our guilds. And so each citizen has a specific guild icon attached to it. And there are 4 different ones. And so we're going to say, okay, let's say I did roll a 1 and a 6. I would look at where I have citizens started, and that means a black circle has been filled in. You get to start with a 5 and a 6, started from the very, very beginning. So I wouldn't get to do anything on a 5 because I didn't roll a 5, but I did roll a 6. So I would get to fill in a circle on the, what do we call this one? The soldier track. And that's going to be helpful for starting to fill out like the wall that we're trying to build. There's a lot of soldiers, and so that's where they're going to go. But then not only do you get to do the individual numbers, the 1 and the 6, you get to add them together, and you get to do that value as well. So if I had one filled in on 7, I would then also get to fill in something on the icon attached to the 7 citizen. So that's the first part of every round. Check your numbers, see where they have triggered citizens that you have already started. So you have some spaces filled in, and fill in the corresponding guild tracks. If you get a bonus from those guild tracks, you then go get to fill in that bonus, and some of those are going to be the little knights, they're going to be money, they're going to be road building, all of that kind of stuff. Oh, is there a puppy that came downstairs? My puppy just came downstairs. Oh, she's a good puppy. She's going to come hang out with me? No, she's going to go find her mommy here in just a second. All right, once that is done, you get to do the second part of every phase, which is take one of the colored dice, and we'll talk about the blue one because it's a little special. You get to take one of those 3 colored dice, and you're going to get to activate or fill out an area that it corresponds to. The yellow die corresponds to the yellow citizens track. So remember how we started with 2 circles on 5 and 6? They give you those. How do you get more? You use this citizen die. So if I had rolled a 3, I could take a 3 and fill in the first circle there. And now for every round after this, I can start hopefully getting 3s and take some of those citizens during that harvest phase. Also, green. Green is building roads. You would get to take whatever pip value is showing and fill in that many spaces on one of the roads. There are 4 starting spots. See these filled in circles? Those are where you have to start from. You can start from any of them. I would get to fill in just 1, but let's say I had rolled 5. I get to fill in 5 circles on one of the roads, and it can only be on one. You can't split this up amongst multiple roads. And I would try to start building my roads down to these various domains. I have to stop at a domain. So let's say I had at 5, I could fill in 3, which gets me down to this first domain, and then I would be done. I can't use the other 2. They are wasted, lost for this particular turn. But once I reach a domain, I get to circle it, and each of these is going to give you some kind of benefit. So the top ones each allow you to manipulate one of the colored dice by ±1. So that's a pretty cool thing. And you could choose which road to go down. Like, man, maybe I'm going to go heavy down the citizens track. So I want to go down this yellow one. I want to be able to manipulate that yellow die really well. Or I want to do a lot of road building, so I'm going to come down the green way. So the top domains allow you to do ±1s for manipulation. There are also further down domains that allow you to do a flip over of the die to the other side. So you could flip the green die, you could flip the red die, you can flip the yellow die or the blue die. And then there are some of these domains, they give you one-time immediate guild track advancements, and they have the specific guild icons listed that you would get to move forward on. So that's what's happening when I'm moving down roads. And in some of the spaces on roads, there are some extra bonuses. So this is a really like kind of chainy game, which is great. So there are some knights that you come across on the roads that help you fill out your wall. There are some gold coins that you can come across to get some gold. And there are some straight up points. So anytime you see a star, that's going to be 1 victory point towards the end of the game. All right, so that's the green and the yellow. Next, we have the red. The red is going to allow you to come fight some of those monsters that are trying to come tear down your city. Each of the monster spaces has several spots that have to be filled in before the end of the game in order to complete it. And they also have a range of values that are listed. So, for example, this first monster has 3 spots that have to be a die value of 1 to 6. And you get to cross off one of those. So even though I rolled a 3, I would just fill in 1 spot in the 1 to 6 range. Or they have a range of 8 to 12. Some of them have not a range, but a specific value. Like this one has to be exactly a 9. And you're saying, David, these dice are only 1 to 6. How do you get an 8 to 12 with just the red die? That's the magic of the blue die. The blue die, you can optionally choose to bring in to add together to whatever value is on the colored dice that you're using for your action that turn. So I could add it, what was that, a 3? I could add it to the 3, and if it was a 5, now I have an 8 for the red instead of a 3, so I can come up to this higher section. Or, let's say I had that yellow 3, I could add this blue 5 to it, and now I could start on the yellow 8 citizen track. So the blue die, it's your choice. You could either go with just the value on the color die, or you can bring the blue die in to create a larger value. All right, so that's the second part of every turn. If we were playing a multiplayer game, that would be the end of that round. But in a solo round, we get to do one more roll of the black dice, and that's because in a normal game, every player that goes around, when they roll the black dice, everybody gets those values every single time. But only the active player gets to then do the second action. So in a solo game, you're not going to get as many rolls of these black dice unless they do a special extra rule, which is to roll at the end of the round for one more time. Now, one special rule when you roll doubles in the solo round, so let's say I did happen to roll 2 6s. Now, that would allow me to activate the 6 citizen twice. And if I had started a 12, I could also do the 12. But then I also have to do an event card. These are only for the solo mode. They are, I believe, generally bad. They're going to wipe something out. And so that's a way for some of the player interaction that can happen. Like the first to get certain things is going to take higher points. So the first one to kill this monster here down in the this first area, they would get 5 points. Anybody else that comes in later and kills that monster would get only 3. Also, there are these statue cards up here. These are endgame points. They give you points for doing various things. So some of them are going to be immediate things, like this one right here gives you 3 gold and then 3 points at the end of the game. Pretty cool. This one gives you 3 points for every statue that you get, so including itself. So you may go hard after getting the statues. 1 point for every 3 gold that you achieve, 2 points for every citizen in the, what's this one? That is the worker track. and yeah, just the worker track. So you may want to really focus in on getting the workers, which would mean on the citizen tracks, you would want to fill in those as quick as you can. Get the 11 and the 12, get the 2, get the 5 filled out better so that you can go faster down that track. So these things would be claimed anytime somebody gets up to their 6th gold. So there's a little symbol in these corners, and so you can get max 4 of them. So during the solo mode, I'm assuming that this deck, something that it's going to do is probably wipe out some of these. So if you were working towards something, that event may pop that out of there. So sad. You were not fast enough. Also, I'm assuming that it will probably take some of the higher point values on some of these monsters so that you can't get them, generally bad things. But that's gaming, right? Sometimes somebody swoops in and they snake something from you. So we're going to do that for 20 turns. And then at the end of the 20 turns, we're going to add up all of our points and see how we did in developing our Kingdom of Springfield. So let's get started here. See how we do. I'm kind of want doubles to roll, even though they are bad. I want to see them in action. So hopefully some doubles will show up at some point in this game. All right. Oh, okay. So this is a pretty lucky roll. I got a 5 and a 6. And remember, those are the 2 that you get started with. So I actually get to do 2 different filling the ins on the appropriate guilds. Having those 20 trees is a great way to keep track. I totally agree. Some people are just, they have that smarts for like how to do layouts and how to make things really clear. So really grateful that people like that exist in the world to make those little touches. And then in a non-solo game, it's just a beautiful little touch too. So it's like, it works all over the place. All right, so we're going to cross out the first tree because we are doing round 1. And I get 1 movement on the worker track because that's the icon on the 5. So I'm going to fill in the first bubble there. And then I get 1 movement on the warriors. What's this one? Soldiers track, because that's the helmet for the 6. Neither of those give me any kind of bonus. Those are just filling in the first circles, but coming up soon on those tracks is some bonuses. And then I would also get an 11, but I haven't started that citizens track yet. And I believe, let me check the rules to make sure. I believe if I have 2 filled in on the citizen, like if I fill in this second spot on the 5, if I roll a 5, I think I get 2 spots. But let's make sure so that I don't tell fibs. Rolling Pins Harvest. Yes, so for each activated citizen, which is one that has at least 1 filled in, count the number of marked spots they have, and then mark that number of spots down there. Yes, so if I was to get 2 onto the 5, now the 5 becomes really valuable for me, and excellent. That is not me in chat. You can see that I'm right here. I think somebody who was not feeling so great might be feeling a little bit better and has just jumped into chat. So everybody say hi to Jess, who is pretending to be me. Sneaky, sneaky. All right, so that is the first part of the phase. We did those dice. We did not roll doubles, so we don't get an event yet. Now I get to choose one of these. So adding the blue die isn't going to be as valuable this time because it's only a 1, but who knows? Depends on what I want to do. So I could do a red 5 and get started on one of these monsters. I feel like getting going on domains. So I get some of those abilities is good. So the question is, which one do I want to go down? And I'm kind of feeling like I want to get cranking on these citizens. So I'm going to go down the yellow track side. So I'm going to choose the yellow 5 as my action. I'm going to start on this road over here because that heads me toward the yellow manipulation domain. I'm going to fill in. I would get to fill in up to 5, but because there are only 3 before I hit the domain, I stop at 3. And then I circle this domain to indicate that I have it. Now, anytime that I choose to take the yellow die action, I get to add ±1 to that yellow die. So that could hopefully help me get those citizens that I specifically want. Let's ask Jess. All right, Jess, what is your favorite season? We were talking about mine. It is fall. Oh, so last part of the round, and I should say that in the second roll of the dice, the doubles thing does not apply. We won't do an event if doubles rolls. It is only if doubles rolls on the first part of the round. All right, so we got a 2 and a 5. So I do not have anything started on 2, but rolled a 5 again, so that's really great. So one more on the worker track. And that is a green square. So I get to do another road. So I'm going to start keeping going down my plan of getting yellow dice manipulation. And I'm going to start down this road over here. So this domain now splits and touches 2 different roads. So since I am able to get to this domain originally, now I can start on either of those 2 roads. So I'm going to start on this one to head down towards this yellow ability to flip to the other side. Summer, summer, summertime. Sit right back and unwind. All right, here we go. Round 2. Tree number 2. We have, oh, those are not great. We have a 1. Haven't started it. We have a 3. Haven't started it. We add them together and we get a 4. Haven't started that either. So nothing from those. That's a bummer. But now, what do we want to choose? So I could go green again and come cranking down here because I could add the blue die to that to get 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it would be 1 shy. Or I could do a yellow 6 to make 6 really strong if I rolled it. Man. So this one really wants workers. So maybe I will use my ability, my fresh new ability to do -1 to make this a 5. And I will then go cranking on the worker track. So I'm going to fill in a 5. That is my second one there. That means anytime that I fill in, or if I roll a 5, I will get to fill in 2 spots. Slivers, hello. Whoa. It's like what was the whale on Finding Dory? Oh. Slivers, I hope you're doing very well tonight.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on around here. All right, so I did my action with the yellow die. I filled in the second space there. Oh, that does get me a road. So I get to go cranking down my road again, which gives me my first soldier. So I start on my wall. So Jess is a summertime gal. Oh, and last part of the round, we roll, and I rolled a 4. Didn't start it, but I did roll a 6, which I did have started, which is a warrior, little knight guy. So I get to fill in the next spot on my wall, which is a shield, which means I get to come down here to these monsters and I get to fight one of them for freezies. So, which one? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots for 5 points. This is 7 spots for 7 points. That seems like a better, oh no, 8 spots for 7 points. 10 spots for 9 points. Hey, that's a 1 to 4, an 8, and a 10. This is a 1 to 5 and a 9. Let's do this one. So we're going to work on this monster. So I'm going to fill in the first spot. That gets me another road. So I'm going to keep chipping away over here. Hopefully going to crank down there. All right, so that is the end of round 2. Cross out tree number 2. No doubles yet. All right, 2 and a 4. Don't get either of those, but I do get the 6. So fill in another one on the military track. Now over here. Oh man. So I could fill in a 7. That might not be bad. So I'm going to take the yellow and the blue together to make a 7. So I'll fill in and I'll start my next citizen. And that gets me a gold. So I am working on gold. You need 6 gold in order to get one of these statues. Those are endgame points. So I'm slowly working my way that way. And then for the last piece of the round, roll these. I get a 1 and a 2. Oh my gosh. I need to get some more citizens. So I don't have anything filled in on 1 or 2 or add them together 3. So that's worth nothing. That's a lot of whiffs, man. And that's the end of round 3 already. 3 of 20 turns already done. Need more citizens. Okay. We got a 4 and a 5. Hey, look at that. So the 4 doesn't hit, but the 5, I've got 2 spots filled in. So we'll go 1, 2. And that gets me another road, which gets me closer to being down to the next domain. Maybe I should go this way and get immediately a citizen. I should see. Okay, I think that means there. Yeah. So 4, 5, and 9 I don't have filled in. Now, those are my choices. So I could do an 8. Oh, I could do a 4. Maybe I should do a 4. Or a 3. A 3 has shown up a lot. Oof. 4, 3. Because I can use this. I could make it a 5, but I've already filled in all of the 5s, so that's not helpful. I mean, I could make it a 5 and then add it together with the blue to come get a 9. And that's not bad because this is 9 or 10. So why don't we do that? I'm going to make this a 5. And I'm going to add it together with the blue for a total of 9. And I'm going to fill it in on the 9 citizen, which is another gold. So it's helping me there. And now, if I have dice that roll up to a sum of 9 or 10, I get to move on the holiness track. All right, so last part of this round, roll these again. No 2, no 3, but they add up to 5. So I get to do the 5 twice. So I am cranking down that worker track. So that is good. All right, so that is the end of round 4. So I do have another version of this in the box. It's the winter version, and I mean, this goes pretty fast. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do the winter version as well. Oh, doubles! Our first doubles! So no 2s and no 4s. So these don't do anything for me, but we get an event. The event says fanaticism. Zealots and extremists are escalating tensions in advance of the Queen's visit. As most of the castle guards are drilling in preparation for the parade in Her Majesty's honor, we can only stifle one group. Should we round up the most vocal members of the Shadows Guild or the dissenting voices from the Holy Guild? All right. Well, it says I would have to void the next 4 unmarked pips in one of those 2 tracks. Given that I have filled in one. Oh, I've got one filled in on both. I've got one filled on the shadow. I've got a shadow citizen and I've got a holy citizen. So the next 4 on the shadow is 2 knights, so 2 guard spaces, which would help me fight monsters, and a road build. This one on the holiness is 1 of each. So, but it would get me close to getting a free citizen. Oh man. I'm going to do the shadow. I'm going to cross out the next 4 so I don't get them. Because events are bad. Okay. But now we get to choose our action die. So I could take this and make this a 4. Which seems, I feel like I need to build up my citizenry here. Or I could do an 8. Let's do the 4. So we're going to make this a 4. What's the green at? The green's at 6. Yeah. We're going to make that a 4. And we're going to fill in 1 on the 4 track. So now, hopefully, we can start getting some more movement in these guilds. No. Well, the 4 didn't work, but we do have some movement happening. So we got a 2, don't have it. We got a 5, I get 2, one of those being a road. So we'll keep going, and I'm crossing a bridge here. And then I get a 7, and a 7 is on the Shadow Guild. So I fill in that. Okay, that is the end of round 5. 25% of the way done. Don't feel like done yet, but hopefully this is going to be ramping up. All right. We got a 1 and a 3. Don't have either of those, but I do have the 4, so we made a good choice. So I fill in 1 on the military track. That is great. And now we will look here. So I could fill in a 3. Yeah, why not? So I'm going to fill in a 3. Okay, and then we will roll these again. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Yes. So I don't have a 1, I don't have a 2, but I do have a 3 now. So that is excellent. So I get 1 on the shadow track, which is a knight. So I get to move on the wall. Excellent. That was good timing. And that's the end of round 6. These rounds go quick. Oh, doubles! Burr, burr. So I got double 5s. Oh, I should see what the order of opposites there, huh? What goes first, the event or me actually executing? Bark of a tree. Oh, and I forgot to cross off. So the event track has a ship on it. That is these ships in the rivers here. There are 6 ships, which means you can have max in this game 6 events. So only 6 times will bad things happen to you. So we'll cross off 1 for the first event that we had. I'll cross off a second one for the event that we're about to have. And okay, so the roll phase is first. Oh, and then, okay, roll them, do the event, then we do the harvest. So we will do this after we do the event. Resurgence. The woodcutters in the forest near the castle are reporting tribes of goblins re-entering the lairs that were recently cleared out. We've consulted with the court monstrologist, and he claims it's their nesting season and will likely just have to endure it until the next full moon. It won't look good if the queen spots them, though. Score only the lesser VP for each monster layer you complete. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so all of the higher points just got knocked out. So now I'm going for lower points, which might mean I may not go for monsters as hard. We'll see. But now I get to do so many things for the harvest. I have 2 5s, which is the number I have filled in twice. So that is going to be 4 spaces that I fill in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that was 2 roads. So we're going to keep cranking down here, across the bridge. And that gets me a gold. I love chaining. It's so fun. Okay, and then for the 10, I get to fill in 1 on the holiness track, which is right here. And that is also a road, so that gets me closer to there. Excellent. Now I get to choose one of these. I am so close on this road, but a 6 would be so wasteful. And the 5, I mean, I could double up on some of these, but it'd be nice to get like I could do an 8 for another citizen, which would get me another. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. So I'm going to do the 8 to work on this citizen track. That gets me a fighter, a knight on my wall, which fills in that shield. So I'm going to come down here to this monster that I'm fighting, fill that in, and that is another road piece, which we will go there. And that puts me 1 more spot away from this domain. So not bad. All right, let's see what happens here. We get a 4 and a 6. Oh, that's pretty good too. Because we have a 4, that is a military. And that's another knight, another wall. We have a 6, that's also military. That is not anything but a blank spot, that's okay. And then we have a 10, which is on the holiness, which is a coin. The church is giving me money. All right. So that is the end of round 7. That one felt good. Do we have a James Brazil here? What's up, James? This is Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. Daily Magic Games has the Valeria like world. They have so many games in there. This is their rolling right out of that world. It is a really fun tracks that you're building up. Some chaining, this gets you this, gets you this, which is so fantastic. There's some ability to manipulate the dice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm doing the solo mode, which plays almost the same as the multiplayer mode, but it includes some events that are bad. So that's how you kind of like get some stuff taken away from you that might happen in a multiplayer game where higher scores might get taken when you fight some monsters, or a particular end game scoring that you're trying to go for might get taken first. So the events give you some of that. With the solo mode, you get 20 turns. So I have just completed turn number 7. Hope you're doing good, sir. All right. Hey, I am feeling okay with some of these dice rolls. We got a 5 and a 6. There was some dice rolls early on I wasn't a fan of, but things are hotting up. So with my 5, I get 2 spaces on the Worker Guild. And that gets me another road, which comes down here. And that gets me to this second domain. Excellent. So now for the yellow die, I can add ±1. And I can flip it over. So I have a lot of control over the yellow die. All right, so that was the 5. With the 6, I get 1 movement on the military track. That is just a blank spot. And then add these together for an 11. I do not have the 11 citizens started, so nothing there. All right, now we get to choose from all of this. So I could come cranking down here. That's got a couple of fighters in it. Gets me a citizen of my choice. And that's not bad. I could come down this way and get a free holiness fill in. I could fight. Oh, the fighting gets me a citizen. Let's do that. So we're going to take the 4, and that is going to allow me to fill in a spot here on this monster because that's in the 1 to 5 range. And so that is a citizen. So I get to come up here and I get to fill one in. Let's fill in. I got a lot of workers going, so I'm going to skip the 2. I'm going to do the 1, and we'll see. The 1 keeps me cranking on the holiness track. Okay, so we did our action. We get to roll these dice again. Let's see if we... that worked out. I rolled a 1. So that's a holiness track for the 1. For the 3, I get 1 on the shadow track, which is, those are both blank spaces. And then adding together on the 4, I get 1 on the military track, which is a knight, which is a shield on the wall, which means I get to go bump a monster. So we're going to do that. Oh, oh, yes, I did it. I got the icon. And now this is a road. So down here, there's a little twofer that's going to a dead end, but the dead end is a point. It's a star. And so I'm going to fill in that little, I'm going to start going down here just with these like little onesie twosie roads. That's a great way to just kind of burn through those and score some points. So I'll score that to get out to this lit plinth down there. And here we go. So that is round 8. Pups, are you back? All right. We got a 2 and a 5. So 2 I don't have. 5, I get 2 spots on the worker track. And that is gold on that one. So that gets me 5 of 6 gold. And remember, on my 6th gold, I get to claim one of these statues. So I might want to be looking at which one of these endgame scoring ones do I think I'm going to be doing pretty well at. So we'll see. Okay, so that was the 2, that was the 5. Add them together, I get the 7. That's 1 on the shadow track. And that gets me another citizen. So 3 gold and 3 points. 3 points for every statue. 1 point for every 3 gold. 2 points for every completed citizen of the worker class. So that's the 2, the 5. So I've already got 2 points there. And the 12. I don't have either of those 2 started though. So that, I don't know if that's a great one. But I could maybe get to it. Where do I get stars from? That's out on the road, right? So that star would become worth 2 points, or maybe even 3, because it's worth 1 by itself, and then 2. Oh no, 1 point for every 2 stars. Read it right. 1 point for every domain. So if I'm going to come cranking down on the road, maybe I want this one. Okay, so road heavy ones are the shadow. The workers are pretty good. Holiness and that. Okay, so I'm going to fill in another shadow one so I can try to get some more free road spaces. So you know what? Why don't we fill in the 7 for the second space, because that is a star. So I'm going to keep track because those stars, once you cross them out, they're a little hard to see. So I crossed off a star there. And I'm working towards that one. Okay, great. So I did that. Now I need to choose one of these for my action. Well, you know what? I was just talking about doing shadowy stuff here. I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to use my ±1 to bump it to a 3. I am going to finish off this one, which is another star. And now anytime I roll a 3, I get to fill in 2 spots on the shadow track. All right, second harvest. Doubles! Oh, wait. Doubles on the second roll don't count. It's only on the first roll. So this is safe from an event. But I got 2 4s and an 8. So I get 2 spots. Each die counts towards the 4. I get 2 spots on the military. 1, 2. So that's another space on my wall. And then I get to do the 8, which is also military, for an empty spot. Okay. And that is the end of that round. That is round 9. Nearing halfway. I feel like we're moving a little bit more now. Started slow. That's a good game, right? Start slow and then you get cranking. All right, we got a 1 and a 3. Guys, we have those. That's awesome. So I get to move on the holiness. That's a holy knight. Is it a paladin, right? Move another spot on the monster I'm fighting with that shield. And that gets me a road spot, which I will use to finish off that star. Keep track of that over there. So I got to this lovely little plinth, which is great. So that was the holiness. Now I get to do 2 on the shadow, which is 1, 2. That gets me a road spot. So do I want to come cranking down here? That gets me blue. Or do I want to... I could come down here to get a holiness spot with those. Take 5. Let's go crank it down this road. We'll see if we might get some big numbers here coming. So I'll use that free one there. That was from the 3. And then the 4 from the 2 added together is another one on military. That's done. Okay. Now with this, you know what? To defeat this monster, I needed 2 9s. Exactly 9. And I have one there. So I'm going to click in on that. And that gets me a gold, which is my 6th gold. So I get to claim my first statue. Okay. So 1 point per domain. That's already worth 2. I'm feeling like it's going to be worth at least 3. And if I can get here, then there's a couple more that are not too long. So that could be worth a few points. 1 point for every 2 stars. I've already got 3 stars. I mean, I feel like I'll probably get a couple of more. So that's a couple of points. 2 points for every filled in worker. I've got 1. So that's already worth 2 points. That one's worth 2 points. You know what? I feel like gold is coming. So I'm going to claim this one. And maybe I can claim this one too. 3 points for every statue, because statues come from the gold track. So we'll see. Maybe we can get some gold going. So this is going to be 1 point for every 3 gold. So it's already worth 2 points. And we'll see how that goes. Okay. And then we will fill in with a new statue there. Okay. So that was my colored dice action. Now we do second harvest. 2 and a 4. So 2 is not worth anything. 4 is a military, which gets me a road. We'll keep moving down the road. And a 6 is another military, which is just a blank. Okay. Oops. And that is round 10. We are halfway done. Halfway there. All right. We got 4, 6. And we will have 10. So with the 4, we get a military. That is blank. With the 6, we get another military. That is a road. So that's cool. And that gets me a knight. We found a knight on the road. Which fills in 1 on the wall. And then with the 10, we are working down the holiness track. And that is a blank. Okay, cool. All right, now we got this. So, what am I working toward? Gold. Gold is a lot on the piety track, the holiness track. So I'm going to use the 1 to fill in the second one here on this holiness track. And that's a star, so that puts me at 4 stars. All right. Second harvest. 4 and 5. So the 4 is a military, blank. 5 is 2 workers, which gets me 1 road. Keeping on moving down the road. And the 9 is a holiness track, which is another road. Excellent. We're 1 away on the road from getting another icon on the citizens track. This game moves pretty fast. It does. Now that I've kind of got a feel for what I'm going for, the decisions are coming a little bit quicker. So, yeah, I agree, Tangi. And you can see as I'm filling these in, the end game trigger in a multiplayer game is that somebody fills in 3 of these completely. So they have 3 of these tracks filled in. That will be the last round. So, I mean, I've already got 2 of them almost done, and that was turn number of 11. So the 20 seems like maybe it's about right. That's probably about the same number of turns that you would get in the multiplayer game. Here we go, round 12. A 2 and a 3. Man, I should have got a 2. So 2's worth nothing. 3 is worth 2 on the shadow track. Yes. So that gets me a gold. And the 5 is worth 2 on the workers track, which gets me a spot moving down the road, which gets me a citizen. Okay. Should I do a 2? Kind of feeling like, but see, that gets me workers, and I'm almost already done. I've got the most space left on the holiness track and the shadow track. So I've got all of the shadows filled in. I've got 1 more holiness. So I'm going to do the holiness, and we'll see if that keeps moving, because that also gets me a star. If I started the 2, I'd probably already be done with the workers. And then if I'm rolling more workers, that's just lost. You don't get anything. So we will let that sit. Now, all right. So I've got a big road die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could do 10 on the road and come cranking all the way down here. And that would fill that in. I kind of feel like my citizens is doing okay, so I don't know if I need to do any more yellow. Red. I could finish this. And then if I got another shield, I could get that. That's not bad. But let's see. I get points for gold. Where do I get gold? I get gold up here. Oh, shoot. Oh, I could have been moving a little bit faster. I knew I was going to forget this rule. So Tan, you remember how we were talking about how they have this great kind of like graphic layout and reminding you of things? There is something that they don't have on here, a rule that is very easy to miss. Every time you go fight a monster from the red die, not from one of these shields, but only from the red die, you get a gold. So even if it gives you a gold for filling it in, you still get another gold. So I'm at least 2 gold. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these came from shields, but I have 6 filled in. So I'm 2 gold short of what I should have. So that's a knight, which is another shield, which is finishing that, which is a road. Okay, so I'm caught up, but I forgot about that. Yeah, there's just no, they should have somewhere down here remind you that when you take the red die, you get a gold. I knew I was going to forget that. I was reading the rule book, and as I was reading the rule book earlier today, I was like, I am going to forget that rule. And guess what, guys? I did. But that changes things, because now I don't want that 3, because that spot's already filled in. I need exactly a 9. I can't do it with that. That's 8. So I am going to go to the green, and I'm going to use the green to go cranking down this road. So I'm going to add the green and the blue together to get 10. It's like way more than I need, but it gets me all the way down here to another domain. So I've got the domain where I get to flip over the blue die. So that's cool, because if I roll a really crappy blue die, a low number, now I can flip it and get it to something much bigger. So that's I'm down with that. All right. And it's more dice manipulation, which is one of my favorite things. If you ever said, David, do you want to play a game? Oh, what's it about? Dice manipulation? Yes. 100% yes. Always, always, always with the dice manipulation. All right, second harvest. Doubles, but guess what? Doubles don't count in second harvest, only in the first harvest, so we don't have an event trigger. But we got 2s, that's nothing for us, but we got a 4, that's another one on the military track, so we'll come in here, and that's another knight. So I just need one more knight, and then I can come in and I can defeat this monster. So that's cool. All right, so that's the second harvest. That is the end of round 12. 2 seconds ago, we were like, man, this game is moving fast. It moves fast if you remember all the rules. If you forget them, you gotta slow down and think for a second. All right, we got a 1 and a 6. Oh, I like those numbers too. All right, so the 1 gets me 2 on the holiness track. Sweet. Which gets me a free citizen. Of what type would I like? Well, I mean, I could keep trying to fill out these. Nah, that's not. Let's do the warrior on the 6, because that moves me down the wall, which gets me a shield to go fight the monster, which means I get to finish off this monster. That last one is a star, and it is 5 points for the end of the game because our event took out the high points. Okay, so that was the... How did I just do that? Jeez. I did 2 on the whole... Oh, 2 on the holiness. Okay, so I've only done the 1. Now I get to do the 6. Hey, I just filled that in. So I get 2 on the military. That was smart of me to fill in the 6 that I got. Just tooting my own horn here, peoples. Don't worry about it. So that gets me 1 more movement on the wall. And then I have the 7, which is 2 on the shadow track, which gets me another knight, which gets me a shield. So now I can start another monster. Given that we are about 2/3 of the way through the game, I don't know how good I'm feeling about these 2. They're worth more points, but that's a lot of spaces to fill in by the end of the game. So I think I'm going to come over here and I'm going to try to get these ones. So I'm going to do the high range. Oh, am I cheating here? That shield's supposed to be with... Okay, tell you what. I'll use the red die for this turn. So with that shield, I'm filling in the 1, which gets me a road. For my action, I will use the 8 to get that, which gives me a knight. Okay, just cheating a little bit. Nobody knows. We're all friends here. All right, second harvest. 4 and 6. So 4 gets me a military, which is a coin. Oh, and guess what? I forgot again. I used the red die. That's a coin. Man, that is rough. Coin. I'm gonna remind myself. So for the second harvest, I did the 4. I do a 6, which is 2 more military, which is 2 knights. I am almost done with this track. That's a shield and a star. Nice. I did not notice that there was a star there. Okay, with that shield, I will come in here because I think you have to do from the farthest left. So that's a road. which finishes off this little star road there. And then with the 10, we get 2 on the holiness track, which is a coin, which gets me my second statue, which I think I will grab the 3 points per statue one because I now have 2 statues. And that is round 13. Yes. Crank it. Oh, 3 citizens. That would have been nice earlier, but. All right, round 14. Oops. 2 and a 4. 2 is nothing. 4 gets me 1 on military. That ends the military track. That is full. But that fills in a shield, which gets me a monster, which gets me an icon or a citizen, which I will do. I guess I'll just fill in. It doesn't really matter now because these are all full, but that's a star. So that gets me 9 stars. I like that. Okay, so that was those. Now for my action. All right. So I could come along here with a road. And that would get me to another domain. I could fight with a 10. That's not bad. That gets me 2 gold. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to fight with the 10. So that fills in that spot, which gets me a gold. And then I get a gold for taking the red slay action, which gets me a knight on the wall. Okay, now we get a second harvest. Double 5s, but it's on the second harvest, so we don't do the event. That's 2 workers, which gets me 1 road. Let's keep moving this way. And a 10 gets me 2 on holiness, which is another road. Oh, I get 4 on workers, not 2, because I have 2 5s. So that finishes workers. So if we were playing the multiplayer game, I'd have 2 done, and that is getting us close. So 2 roads gets me to this domain. So this one allows me to add plus or minus 1 to any die that I want. That is the end of round 14. I feel like I might have missed a round marker, but who knows? Oh, thanks, Lev. I did not see that you would let me reroll, but I think I'm doing okay with the rolls so far. Dice have been friendly, but thanks for being willing to help there. And thanks everybody for the gizmos, the mogwais. 1 and a 4. All right, 1 gets me 2 on the holiness track. That's a gold. 4 gets me 1 on military. Military is full. 5 gets me 2 on workers. Workers is full. So not getting a whole lot out of that. All right. So this road has a lot of fighting monsters. So maybe I do have enough time. I mean, I still got like 5 more turns. I feel like I'm going to have some time to be able to fight some monsters. With some shields and some soldiers. We'll see. Let's try it. Let's see if we can get 1 more monster done. I didn't think we would be able to do it, but maybe we can. So we are going to use the flip blue to a 4. Then I'm going to add a pip to it to make it a 5. And I'm going to add it to my green to make that a 10. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's a gold. 4, 5, 6, 7. That is a fight a monster. So that gets me that monster done and a star. 8, 9, 10. Okay. Second harvest. 1 and 3. 1 gets me 2 on the holiness track, which is a road, which is a knight, which is a shield. All right, we're going after our next monster. So this one needs 12 and this needs 10. So we're going to go after the 10. I just don't know what's going to happen. So that was the 1. The 3 is 2 on shadow, which is another road. And the 4 for adding those together is 1 on military, which is done. Okay. Round 15 done. 3/4 of the way there. Go for it! Well, see, what's great, Tangy, is I'm rolling doubles about on the right moments as well. I'm rolling them on the second harvest where they don't do a bad thing. They just do all the good things. So, not going to jail, which is pretty great. Doubles! Oh, but we're in first harvest. Here we go. We got an event. We're Tangy, we were just talking about this. All right, let's see what's going to happen. It's a plague! A dark illness has beset the castle, afflicting the most precious members of your citizenry. Oh, not the precious ones. We fear this may be the same plague that struck Kosk when it was first settled. Luckily, our clerics have the means to heal the sick, but we must quarantine those who have come in contact with the afflicted. Ugh, we all know quarantining. And insist that all the citizens cover their mouth and nose while in public. Void 2 unmarked star pips in the citizen tableau. Okay, so that's going to be up here. So I'm just going to start from the left and work to the right. So I would void this one and this one. So I can't get those. Got to protect those precious citizens. But that is now the third event. So 3 of 6. But with our 4s, that's all military. And the 8 of adding those together, that's also military. That's all done. So those don't do anything for us. I forgot what that was. We'll just leave it as a 1. I accidentally bumped it. Okay. I think we're going to keep cranking down the road, y'all. So I'll use my +1 to make this a 2. And add the blue, and we're going 6. 1, 2, that's a star. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we're getting close to their shield. And then we will do our second harvest. We got a 1 and a 6. 2 on the holiness is a coin. Great. 6 is 2 on the military, which is done. 7 is 2 on the shadow, which is another coin, which is another statue. All right, so we get to choose another one of these. All right, 3 points per completed holiness. That's worth 6 points because I have both of those done. That's not bad. 3 coins plus 3 points is... That's also good because 3 coins is worth a point for me. So this is effectively worth 4 points. And it gets me another knight, which gets me another star and closer to another shield. And I'm trying to fight this monster. So why don't we do that? We're going to take this one. So that gets us 3 coins. 1, 2, 3, which gets us a knight, which gets us a star. And then we get 3 stars. So I was saying 3 points, but it's actually 3 stars. So I've already got 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 15 stars. How do points work at the end of... Count the number of stars and write the number. Okay, yeah. So stars are 1 per. So that worked out good. Okay, so that was from this. I feel, oh man, I've lost track of where I was. What was called at the end of the round? Yeah, because I did 6 on there. Yep. All right, we got 4 more rounds to try to defeat this monster. Let's get it. 1 and 4. So 1 is 2 spots on holiness, which gets me a road, which gets me a shield, which gets me a road. Cool. 4 is 1 spot on military. That's done. 5 is 2 spots on workers. That's done. Okay. So now, oh, here we go. We can flip the blue. We're doing it. So a 2 becomes a 5. And then we will add 1 to a die. So I'll make that a 6. So now I've got 11 for the road. Or 10. Maybe I should do the red. Because that's a fight that I can make and that gets me a 10. Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to get a coin. So I get a coin for that spot. Then I get another coin for taking the red action. So that gets me close to getting another statue. So that is cool. Okay, so that's my action. Now we will do second harvest. Deadpan's in the house. Hey, Deadpan. Hope you're doing great, friend. You'll notice it is once again Something's Puzzling Gus. The lovely Jess CCG is feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, so y'all are stuck with me solo, and I am soloing through a game of Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. It is the roll and write from Daily Magic Games in their Valeria world, and it's a nice combo-y little bit of an engine builder, right? Like you got to get your citizens up so that you get your guilds up so that you get stuff. And yeah, it's fun. All right. So I think I did. This was second harvest? Probably. Yeah, because I did 10 there. So that was second harvest. Okay. So that's the end of round 16? Yeah. 3 more rounds. 17? Yeah, that was the end of round 17. We got 3 more rounds. Okay, we got 1 and 4. 1 is 2 on holiness. That is 2 coins. Which, guess what? Is a statue. Okay, so we'll mark that. What is this statue? 3 times knights and stars? Statue cards. Each statue card gives endgame. Oh, so every star pip on the wall, I would get 3 points for. I've marked 1, 2. So that's worth 6. It's not bad. I'm 4 spots from another one. So I got a little ways to go to get that. This would be worth a couple of stars because I've got everything pretty much filled in. 3 points. Oh, we were talking. This one is worth 6 for sure. Oh, but this one's worth 6 and maybe more. So that's better. Then this is 1 point for every 2 stars. I'm currently at 15 stars. So this is better because that's worth 7 right now and maybe more. So we're going to do that one. That's my 4th statue. So that is the last statue that I can get. You can only get 4 in the game. So the statue market is closed. All right. I like it. Yep. I don't know what that was in reference to, but I love positive affirmation, so it's great. Yep. With the 4, that's military, can't do anything. With the 5, that is workers, can't do anything. I can't do anything because both those tracks are already full. But with these now, so I could go cranking down the road, which is what I really need to be doing if I want to have a shot at defeating this. So I could do that with 9, 10. So sure, let's do it. We're going to crank on down the road. So that's, I'm bumping that up with this and adding the green and the blue together to make 10. 1, 2, 3. That is a fighter, which gets me a shield, which gets me a citizen, which gets me a star. Excellent. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a coin, which is another star. 8, 9, 10. Oh, so close to that shield. This is going to be close getting this monster. Whew. How am I going to do that? I don't know. I don't know if that's happening. We'll see. Because I can get a shield here, so that's 1. I can get a knight here. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, so I did my colored die action. So now we'll do second harvest. Double ones! Doubles again on the second harvest. So nothing bad is happening to me. So that will be 4 spots on the holiness, which finishes that. Gets me another star. And then a 2, I don't have anything. By adding the 2 ones together to make it a 2, I don't have that one filled in. Wouldn't matter anyways because that's workers. So if we were playing the multiplayer game, this would be the last round because I finished 3 tracks. But because it is solo, we have 2 rounds left to go. Double 4s! An event! Oh! What's going to happen? This is the 4th event. Ambush! Under the cover of darkness and a mysteriously sudden and dense fog, a band of monsterkin destroyed one of your domains. The damage was devastating, with stonework and statuary torn asunder and left sprawled across the clearing. We're attempting to tidy up the gardens at least, but the structure itself is a total loss. Ugh! Void the dice manipulation power of one domain you have marked. Okay, that's fine because I'm not using the yellow die anymore, so we can say goodbye. I'm not doing citizens. I'm trying to get going down some roads. So, not the worst. Not the worst. Okay, so what do we got left? Oh, I got a 10. That gets me this one. Guys, this is going to be so close. I don't want to sound negative because I talked about being positive, but I don't know that I'm going to make it. But we're going to give it our best shot. So with the 10, I'm going to fill in this spot, which gets me another star. That's awesome. I have 19 stars, baby. And then we're going to come here. We got a 3 and a 5 and an 8. So a 3 is 2 on the Shadow Guild. That's good because that gets me a knight to move me down my wall. I need more movement on the wall because I want these shields to come fight. 5 is workers. 8 is military. So those are already done. So that is the end. Holy cow. This is it. We got 1 round. 4 and a 6. All right. 4 is military. 6 is military. 10 is holiness. So nothing from those. Okay, with my dice, I got 1 action. So points I get from stars and coins. So if I can get a coin, that is worth another point because it's 1 point for every 3 coins. So that would be worth a point if I could fill that in. I can get a coin here from the monster, but I would need an 8. Oh, which I could do because I could flip the blue over and then minus a pip. So I could do that. So I could get 2 coins from that 8. That gets me a star. That's not bad. So that would be worth a couple of points. With the green, I could march all the way along, which would get me a fight, which would be a road. That's not super helpful, which would be knight, which would be another road, which would get me a coin. So I could get a star there too. Let's do that because that's just fun. We're going to do the road, going down the road. For 10, we're going to finish this off all the way down to this plinth on the end. So that is a shield, which is a road. With that road, I'm going to come here. So that was, I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the soldier, come here, which gets me another road, which gets me that, which is a coin. 6, 7, 8, 9 for a star. Got me to 20. So that's cool. And I got to the end of the road on the last round. Got one more harvest to do. Doubles. Tangy, we are definitely playing a game where I need to roll doubles. So with 6s, that is military workers all filled up. Man, too bad I couldn't do more on the shadow. Okay, that's it. That's the end of 20 rounds. So now we're going to score. So the scores are my 4 statues. This one doesn't actually score me any points. This one gets me 3 points per statue. I've got 4 statues, so that's 12. This one gets me 1 point for every 2 stars. I have 20 stars, so that's worth 10. And then this one gets me 1 point for every 3 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for that. So for my statues, I get 22, 31. All right, not bad. For my monster fighting, I got 3 and 5 for 8. I wasn't able to get there, but that's okay. For my domains, I got to, oh, that one crossed out, so I no longer get it. I got to 1, 2, 3 domains. And then my stars was 20, as I said before. So that's all the pieces of the score. So I have 23, 31, 62, which means was it luck or skill? A baron will remain to monitor your decision making. 62 is just out of the lowest level. Oh, I gotta have a baron looking over my shoulder because I'm not quite there yet on making the best decisions. Man, I thought I was cranking too. This is rough. You got to get over 80 to get into like the best of the best of the best with honors. But that's Dice Kingdoms of Valeria. It's a really fun game. I really enjoy it. It's nice because on everybody's turn, you get to do something. Everybody, when they roll these black dice, gets to take the values that come from them. So even when it's not your turn to then also do an action with the colored dice, you still get to do something. And I like games like that. I like games that combo. So seeing you're kind of moving around the boards and getting things that hit somewhere else that get you somewhere else. That's all pretty cool. And yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed myself. And then the winter version. So we won't play winter version tonight because I gotta get running, see how my lovely wife is feeling, and get some dinner going. So in the winter version, it's like, ooh, it gives me that like those nice chilly vibes, which is great. You still have all the same basic rules: coins, core guilds, the citizen track. Um, the biggest difference is the monsters are only accessible from trails that you have to unlock in order to go fight them. So you start with one that's unlocked. It's off this trail that goes down the road through the center of your kingdom. The rest of these, you have to get roads out to these forest spaces. So you'd have to connect a road to this domain in order to access this one. So yeah, I see a trail there and a trail there. No, I guess it's just here. So you'd have to get to this domain in order to go fight this monster. This monster, you'd have to come from this domain or this domain, either side. So this one has 2 access points. This one you'd have to come from the so you have to move down these roads in order to get to the monsters to fight them. That's the biggest difference between the winter. Yes, I love being in charge of dice rolling. All right, let me click back up to. So this was a lot of fun, folks. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me on Something's Puzzling Gus episode 2. We will do more of these as the opportunities arise. Jess will be heading to PAX West in a couple of weeks. She's going to be with Rose Gauntlet Foundation there. They're doing the Game Changers dinner, which is for women and female identifying folks in the gaming sphere in whatever way they find themselves, whether they're part of a publisher, whether they're a game designer, whether they are a graphic artist, whether they're, whatever it is that you do in the gaming world, then you can ask to be part of this. I don't think it's just an open thing, but you can hopefully be able to attend and do some networking, do some meeting of like-minded folks. And that's really exciting. So Rose Gauntlet Foundation, check out all the stuff that they're doing. They did the BIPOC Lounge at Gen Con a couple weeks ago. That one really great. They've got the Game Changers happening here in a couple of weeks. And then out at PAX U, they've got the big gay dinner for the LGBTQ community. And Jess will be helping out there as well. So she's got a lot of stuff going on, which is going to mean more nights with just me. And if you're going to be at PAX U, Jess and I are going to be there. We're going to be free, so we should play games. But otherwise, this was a blast. I still don't know how to raid. I'm going to have to ask Jess to write me instructions for how to do that. So tonight you're going to have to find your way to your next adventure on your own. I hope it is fun. I hope the rest of the week finishes off great. Really appreciate y'all being here. So yeah, go be wonderful people and make the world a little bit more wonderful with your presence. Appreciate y'all. So have a great night. Talk soon. Bye.